Welcome back to Charleston County RoadWise. It's all about the transportation sales tax program, and I hope that you've enjoyed what you've seen thus far. Now I'd like to talk with the chairman of County Council, who is Teddy Pryor. I'm just wondering, Mr. Pryor, do you feel that the economy, with the difficulties that we're having right now, nationally, federal government, etc., is that affecting the local sales tax in any way?
Yes, ma'am. It has, not in a very big negative way, but you know, as the economy downsizes, the revenues are not coming in as they should, and we have had to scale back on some projects, as well as Carter. Carter did not get what they expected. You know, Carter gets 18% of whatever comes in through the half-cent sales tax, and so this year Carter had to cut their budget by some $300,000. So while we anticipated, you know, smaller revenues coming in during the recession, we are hopeful and we are mindful that things are going to pick up in the years to come, and we'll be right on schedule. Right now we're on schedule to, you know, to finish what we started, and I'm excited about what we have going on now, all the different programs and all the different roads and streets that are being paved and widened, and bicycle path and pedestrian bikeways, and even with the, when you look at us with green belts, we have just done so much in a short period of time, and we have been recognized nationally for our green belts program. So I'm excited. Yes, the economy is a little slow, but we're marching forward.
You know, we're almost ahead of our own time, meaning right. Charleston County, because finally, or now, we hear the federal government talking about infrastructure. We've got to take care of the infrastructure. Of course, build all sorts of roads and what have you were falling apart. But Charleston County jumped to the occasion, and now we're here, and we're getting past the federal government in some respects.
Yes, we are, and the quickest way to get this economy back on track is through infrastructure, you know, creating jobs and having safe roads for folks to ride on, bike paths, you know, for folks can ride a bike, you know, if gasoline prices goes up high, walking for exercises. So Charleston County has always been a leader, and we felt that we took the lead on this, and 25 years from now, folks are going to look back and say, you know what, those folks done a heck of a job, and they may call us geniuses. Because
do you think we'll be here to get those accolades?
Yes, we will. Okay. 25 years from now.
It sounds like a winner.
Yes.
Thinking about some of the other counties in the surrounding area right now, Dorchester and Berkeley County, they just, well, maybe not just, but recently got on the bandwagon, and they're now doing the same thing, except they have a penny. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts about that? Well,
I'm glad to see them get on board. It's always been my intention that taxpayers, even constituents, they want good things. If you look at folks, if you give them choices and tell them what are you going to do with the money, and make sure you do what you said from the beginning, folks don't mind paying for services. And I'm going to tell Dorchester as well as Berkeley County, this is a great program we have here at you know, RoadWise, and the folks we have around it, such as folks like yourself and others. And we wanted to be a leader, and we wanted to move front, and I think we've set the groundworks for a model program. And you know, managing the program was one of the toughest things, but we brought in the group, the LPA group, you know, who got us started.
Right.
And working with our staff, I think we have been positive, and we have been upbeat. And when these projects start to come on board, like Palmetto Commerce Parkway is near completion, you know, Farley Road and Maybank, all those stuff, when they come on board, folks are beginning to see the fruits of our labor and the results of their half-cent sales tax. So I would say to those folks in Berkeley and Dorchester, keep on keeping on, because in years to come, folks are going to appreciate you. And we need to look to the future, because if we just build to take care of traffic today and not tomorrow, we're right back where we started from.
This is the inaugural program, right. And thank you very much for the Charleston County Transportation Sales Tax, better known as RoadWise. Mm-hmm. What do you say to the public about the desire by the county to communicate on how we're spending their money, where we're spending their money, and why we're spending their money? What do you have to say to the public? It's their money.
It is, and the public is watchdogs, and it's programs like what we are doing here now that's going to get the information out. You can go online and see this information. We have mail-outs, we have you know, radio spots to let folks know when roads are going to be closing. We do via emails. So I say to the public, your money is being well spent. Programs like this, what you are responsible for, and doing a great job, I must say. it gets the word out and folks can see the results of their money.
It's interesting that so many projects are going on at one time. We're going to be talking a little bit later on about the allocations projects, and those are the smaller projects, and then we have the larger bonded projects, about 12 of them. Each of these projects came from some entity, usually the city government or the city of Charleston or whomever. Is that who you work with initially in order to identify the roads that needed work? And especially the bonded projects, the big ones?
Yes, our staff works with the different municipalities in Charleston County, figure out the needs, and once we figured out the most important needs or what needs to be done, then they get together. I give you an example, the Johnny Dawes Boulevard, which is coming up now, which just got started. That was a big project, one of our biggest projects to date, and they were instrumental in helping us with the half-cent sales tax, and this is something that needed to be done. And working with Mayor Swales and his staff, which we have to do work with different municipalities. We became the model, that model where people need to pattern themselves and look after. Each government working together makes it easy for the constituents. Whether I live in Mount Pleasant, whether I live downtown Charleston or Mount Pleasant, you still live in Charleston County, and we all pay the same taxes. So we want to make sure that everybody gets the same benefits, even out in the unincorporated rural areas, as far as, cleaning out the ditches and, paving the roads that have never been paved for 30, 40, 50 years. Those are the results of this half-penny sales tax. And I am just so excited that I was a part of it.
Absolutely.
And over these last 2 years as chairman, I was able to oversee this, and I think we're headed in the right direction. And this council has been a great council, and I look forward to working with them in 2011.
If this video is seen outside of the Charleston community by communities that are interested in getting a sales tax of some sort, what would be your better advice for them?
Well, I would tell them to, look at our program, get information, see what it takes to start one of these programs, how well it's ran, and I would be willing to sit down and talk with anybody to give them the pros and the cons of trying to run a program like this. But folks such as yourself, I keep saying, which you do a great job and knows how this works, those are the kind of people they need to get in touch with, like LPA Group. These folks can tell you what it is. They do transportation, they do roads, what you're doing here now, you're an expert on what you do. And so those are the kind of folks they need to contact if they want to get into this. But I'd be willing to sit down as the chair to talk to anyone and telling them, the pros and the cons, what it takes to get started. And most definitely, you want to make your constituents proud. If you say you're going to do something, do what you say you're going to do.
The one thing I can't, thank you very much for those accolades. I can't imagine that we could not have gotten on this project earlier. The traffic is awful in some communities. I'm thinking about Mount Pleasant right now. I'm thinking about other places. The bridges can hardly hold the traffic. Why didn't we get started on something like this earlier?
Well, I didn't get into politics 6 years ago, so but money sometimes plays an important part. Politics plays an important part, and I think sometimes just the vision. People perish because of lack of vision, and you got to be a visionary. You got to have a vision, and of course change. A lot of people are afraid of change, because they don't know what the end result's going to be. But I think once it's explained to people what you want to do and how you're going to do it, it's better and it's easier to sell it. A lot of times we just don't take the time to explain to the public, what we're doing and why we need to do it. We need to prepare for the future. And, if anybody's, we're going to be here for a long period of time. We may not be here, but population is going to be here. And I want
our children.
And when I leave this council, I want to leave it better than what I found it for my kids, my grandkids, and their kids. So, I think if everybody takes that approach and that vision, you want to leave things better than the way you found it. Charleston County, as well as the whole United States of America, will be in a whole lot better shape.
Where did all this traffic come from? I can't imagine. Where are they going? I look at night sometimes and I see all these headlights. Where does it come from? Is it the housing? Is it the business community? What started all of this?
Well, Charleston is one of the most destinations. A lot of folks like to come and visit. And once they come and visit, and I always say once they drink the water, they become transplants because they want to come back. But a lot of folks are coming into Charleston because they find a great place to live. The weather is great. The hospitality is great. The history of Charleston is great. in the Tri-County area, North Charleston, Mount Pleasant, Daniels Island, Solomon's Island. It's just a variety. And so I think people come in because it's a great place to live and a great place to retire. And as you say, the traffic. And that's got to be our #1 focus on this economy and traffic. We can't wait until traffic just bottlenecks and says we need to do something. We need to do it now, so 20 years from now we won't have to be fighting the same problem all over again.
Politicians don't like sales tax or any other tax increase. How did you get your fellow council members to buy into this?
Well, the public, it was taken to the public in a referendum, and it was explained, here's what we're going to give you for this half-penny sales tax if you so desire. And I think most politicians that sometimes never come out and tell you what I'm going to give you or what I'm going to do before they ask. They just assume, the public is going to say no. But I've always been an advocate of if you give a person a clean glass of water versus a dirty glass of water and you give them a choice, they make good choices. So it's all about giving folks choices and being up front and telling them what you want to do, what your vision is. And if they accept it, fine. If they don't and they reject it, then you move forward. But since I've been here, the public has always been supportive of what we are doing as long as we explain to them and do what we say we're going to do.
Are you pleased with the program thus far?
I'm very, very pleased with the program. And as I said, I just can't, praise what you and your staff and Mr. Taylor and his staff and an LPA group is doing. At first when we started, it was little glitches. I was just coming on the council. We had a few glitches, but once they were all ironed out, this thing is moving full steam ahead. And when you look all over the streets now, every road that's being built has a bike pathway. Pedestrian walkway, all the bridges, like the Cooper River Bridge, the Ravenel Bridge, that has a walkway as well as pedestrian bike path. It is just awesome. And if you notice, all the roads that are being resurfaced now and are done, it has, way for bike. So that's the way of the future.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Well, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to see you and keep up the good work.
Thank you, sir. We will. Been talking with Chairman Teddy Pryor, Chairman of the Charleston County Council, on the Charleston County Transportation Sales Tax.